full event lineup at PiratesFestCayman.com. Arr.
Now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
Everywhere.
Can you hear me now? Everywhere. Everywhere.
Yes, right from your Android or iPhone. Download the Radio Cayman app now on your Android or iOS phone.
The Radio Cayman app
is where you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere you go.
Everywhere we go, we go. Everywhere we go, we go.
Find it in the Google Store, the Apple Store, or use the link at www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Yes, now you can listen to Radio Cayman everywhere.
For the record, proudly brought to you by Pirates Fest 2022. Stay in the know. Get the full event lineup at piratesfestcayman.com.
Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066.
This is For the Record with ORETT CONNOR.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you.
For the record.
Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record.
Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, ORETT CONNOR.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees, so fair. Today is Monday, the 21st day of November 2022, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We do hope and trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable weekend. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, whether you're a pedestrian or a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Ensure that you observe the rules of the road. In the absence of signage and with the advocacy of the National Roads Authority and citizens of the Cayman Islands as well, including Ms. Sharon Ebanks, who's a strong proponent for reminding people to use their indicators when navigating a roundabout. So remember to observe the rules of the road. The life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are on the roads, again, you may be experiencing some slowdown in traffic. Earlier this morning, as you heard on Radio Cayman's news, there was an accident, two-vehicle accident at the entrance to the Christa Tomlinson Memorial Roundabout when you're traveling west, coming on what we call Spot Street. Some call it Shamrock Road. And if we were to revert to its original name, I remember seeing some historical data, and it was built by a man by the name of Tom Jackson, and it was called Tom Jackson's Lane, built by hand in those days as well. So if you're approaching the roundabout there coming from the east, there was a two-vehicle accident. That accident must have happened somewhere between 6 and 6:15, somewhere in that area. It baffles the mind really to see, what happens on our roads when what I consider to be unnecessary as well. But we'll talk more about that later because lots of traffic issues. People on Friday night were complaining about the traffic situation as well. So we will be talking, about that also. So those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, we want to wish you a happy birthday. Or if you've celebrated a birthday over the past few days, a belated happy birthday as well. And to remind you that the For the Record birthday shout-outs are proudly brought to you by life insurance agent Michael Webster from Cayman Insurance Center. And he reminds you, don't take chances with your family's future. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to express our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing to you as well. For those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery as well. And specifically, again, we want to give a big shout out to the Deputy Governor, the Honorable Franz Manderson, and while he's on the road to recover as well. And again, I saw an article where Mr. Manderson has spoken about his medical situation and urging all of us to take care of ourselves, look out for our health. And I want to say a big shout out and kudos to Mr. Manderson for that, because too many times those persons in prominent positions, when they're suffering an I shouldn't say suffering an illness, when they may have experienced a medical condition, some choose to keep it private, and that's really their personal choice as well, while others can use it as a platform to remind all of us to look out for our health, to be careful, heed the warning signs, get our regular checkups and everything. And we want to thank Mr. Manderson for being upfront with that and being an advocate for healthy lifestyles and monitoring our health as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, ORETT CONNOR, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, the phone lines are open. Radio voice of Silver Fox, Mr. Paul Akal, waiting to take your calls. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us 925-3261. Follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. We're also on Facebook as well. So before I introduce my guest this morning, let's go back to our birthday shout outs and those that we have been able to locate and Facebook posts this morning. I'm sorry. So we have Marlene Barnes, who's celebrating her birthday today. Miss Elaine McLean celebrating a birthday today. Jaybird Smith also celebrating a birthday today. Victoria Scott celebrating a birthday today. And our own Director of Broadcasting, Miss Norma McFeel, celebrating a birthday today as well. And I hope that Facebook, Paul, I hope these are all correct on here, because I have a friend who, because they don't want to put all of their personal details on Facebook, because they know that there are crooks out there, people out there with nefarious intent who will use that information. So, a friend of mine, he actually posts put the date, his birthday, the day before it actually take place, one day early. On Facebook, that's where he posted. So I'm not sure if other persons may do that as well, but I sent our director a WhatsApp message to confirm it, but I haven't received a response yet. But if there are any corrections to be made, I certainly will make those corrections. But so far, we have Marlene Barnes celebrating a birthday today, Elaine McLean celebrating a birthday, Jaybird Smith celebrating a birthday, Victoria Scott celebrating a birthday, and our own director here at Radio Cayman, Miss Norma McField, celebrating a birthday as well. And to remind you that the For the Record birthday shouters are proudly brought to you by life insurance agent Michael Webster from Cayman Insurance Center. And he reminds you, don't take chances with your family's future. So, it is my pleasure to have in the studio again with me this morning Dr. Steve McField, 1 week after being here last week with Chief Officer Mr. Wesley Howell. Of course, you were here in a different capacity at that time, Dr. McField. But again, good morning. Welcome to For the Record, sir.
Good morning to you, Mr. For the Record. And good morning to all your listeners in the For the Record land and those in the Cayman diaspora. And those people who listen to you Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Mm-hmm. Good to be back with you again. 1 week, yes. Last weekend I was here. We were talking about the point system committee that's been set up by the cabinet, and which I chair. And we are looking into the point system so that we can make a report to cabinet whether we're going to keep it or we're going to ditch it or we're going to have a new system or whatever. We don't know yet. It's still in the
pipeline.
Mm-hmm. So good morning to you. I'm here in my usual capacity as your guest.
Yes.
And I have a lot to say this morning. We were talking off the air before the show started about some of the problems that we were having. Mm-hmm. And I think that those are relevant and they are very important. And I think that it's good that you have started to bring them out into the forefront and to talk about them and to you allow your listeners to know what our feelings are about those problems.
Certainly. Thank you very much for that, Doc. So before we go to our first commercial break, I want to update our listeners as to some things that are taking place. So the NICE program, remember Minister J. Ebanks was on here and he mentioned that. So this was a press release that was issued on Friday, the 18th of November, the NICE project to run November 28th to December 16th. And it points out that the Ministry of Planning, Agriculture, Housing, and Infrastructure has announced that the National Community Enhancement Program, known as NICE, will take place from November 28th to December 16th. The NICE Winter Project will provide a stipend to our unemployed Caymanians and spouses of Caymanians ages 18 and over who volunteer in a number of areas, including the beautification and maintenance of roadside, parks, cemeteries, and beaches. Minister of PAHI, Honorable J. E. Banks, stated that he was pleased with the government that the government, through the ministry, would be offering the opportunity for Caymanians to volunteer for up to 3 weeks. And he's quoted as saying, given the economic challenges some of our people are experiencing and the additional financial strains of the holiday season, it is good that we can provide this opportunity for them at this time. He further commented, and I quote, "The NICE project, since its inception, has ensured that Caymanians and residents benefit from a clean and healthy environment. The ministry will continue to partner with the public and private sector in delivering the program to provide solutions and improve the well-being of our people in keeping with government's broad outcomes. A single registration event will be held at the Lions Community Center. That's at 905 Crew Road in Georgetown on Monday, that is today, Monday the 21st of November, 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. So today, folks, 9 a.m. until 12 p.m. or 12 noon. Single registration event will be held at the Lions Center. For those of you who don't know where the Lions Center is, it's located at 905 Crew Road in Georgetown. The release also says that applicants are required to show proof of immigration status at registration. This includes photo identification and voter card, birth certificate, passport, Caymanian status certificate, or stamp in a valid passport for Caymanians, and photo identification and residency with employment right certificate as the spouse of a Caymanian, or a stamp in a valid passport from persons married to Caymanians. It also states that application forms for the NICE project will be available at all district libraries, members of parliament offices, the Needs Assessment Unit, Workforce Opportunities and Residency Cayman, and the Public Reception Desk at the Government Administration Building. So, folks, registration for the NICE program taking place today between the hours of 9 a.m. and 12 noon at the Lions Center in Georgetown. That is 905 Crew Road. We're going to take a commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. When we return, the conversation with Dr. Steve Macfield will continue.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Some military action took place off the sea during World War II. On land, very little military action took place despite the installation of the U.S. Naval Base in Georgetown. Although they did have regular rounds of duties, the Americans had opportunities to interact with locals when not on duty. Informal parties were held at Petra Plantation, Hislop's Ice Cream Parlor, or the tea shop run by Madeline and Myrtle Ebanks. Reverend George Hicks, a Presbyterian minister, was appointed honorary chaplain. As would be, romance blossomed, as well as including the marriage of Lillian Bodden, daughter of Captain Rail and Chief Warrant Officer Jack Howard. However, tensions did occasionally rise, especially if the young Caymanian women were overly friendly to the Americans. On several occasions, fights between the Caymanian men and American military would break out near the town hall, with the most serious incident taking place in December 1943 when 40 of the Caymanian men were home on leave.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
The Rotary Central Music Extravaganza is Saturday, November 26th. Your ticket, your chance, your prize. Grand prize, $40,000. Second prize, $4,000. 6 $1,000 prizes and more. Get your $25 tickets now through Rotary Central members, Rotary Central ticket sellers, eventpro.ky, or WhatsApp Rotarian Annie Rose Scott in Cayman Brac at 916-7310. The Rotary Music Extravaganza at Salty's Grand Harbor. Performances by Heat, Fabulous 68 and CNB. November 26th, you can be the winner. Proceeds fund Rotary Central Community Projects. Rotary Central NPO number 232. Rotary, all the good you imagine.
60 I'm bossy with J and money. When I trip it easy, trust me. Yeah. Come on,
just send some money. I instant entry. Look how you lucky. Bossy, JN money, bossy. JN money, send you go a yard. Teen, bossy. Jamaica well bossy. 60 young bossy. We well Brody.
Celebrate Jamaica 60 with JN Money for a chance to win a dream vacation for two to Jamaica, including airfare, resort stay, and more. Send money for a chance to win. Your loved ones will also be entered for a chance to win a brand new car. Competition runs from now until December 24th. JN Money 60 and bossy enough.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
Bossy, Jamaica well bossy. 60 young bossy.
No JN bank account required.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay.
No one can stop me when I taste the beer.
Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
West Bay, home to Barkas National Park, the touristy flair, a family community, a political powerhouse. From sports enthusiasts to car aficionados, affection for silver thatch rope. No matter how far you may venture, West Bay will always be where the heart is. Home will always be in West Bay. West Bay Pharmacy, caring for your home and your family. West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient, quality care is just around the corner.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
With costs and insecurities rising, staying grounded and focused is what your family needs. Life insurance covers your family and mortgage protection. Peace of mind is mental health awareness.
Life insurance, the sure way to protect your family. I'm Michael Webster. Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets. Cayman Insurance Center, protecting you and your family so you can take back your future. I'm Michael Webster. Let's discuss your peace of mind today. Call me at 925-5433. Think life insurance.
System 1 loaded. 1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with ORETT CONNOR.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Dr. Steve McField. We do have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC, and good morning to the good doctor there.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So, Doc, you're not going to say good morning to me, too?
Good morning, I said. Yes. Good morning, Lord Graham.
Yeah, okay. All right. I heard that ad a while ago about if you're coming out for the nice program, you should also bring your proof of status, if you got status papers or something like that.
Right. Your immigration status. So if you're person married to Caymanian, you should have your certificate or endorsement.
I guess that go for anybody that has status. But I thought status was giving. I think the Constitution speaks something about being in the best interest of Cayman. our Cayman people. So now we're giving people status in the road. We got to find side job for them too. Look like we are fastly becoming what David Rich made reference to when he was chairman of the Cayman Protection Board. We're becoming a welfare state very quickly. You know? Yeah, but I know what I called for.
Okay.
But yeah. This one, this one I hit you pretty hard. I don't know if I can call the name of the organization, but you'll probably know. I travel a lot on promotional trips with Cayman. Back in the day, Port Arthur, the CNB football team, we used to go up. The Carrier Cayman band, with Chicago, New York, Boston, all those places. And whenever the Cayman band hit up the traditional music, swanky and the likes, people go crazy, right? Now we're getting these groups that are going to represent Cayman at a national level, sporting events I'm talking about now. And we're getting people, I don't know if we can refer to them as the title that former minister also gave them, but they're pretending then to be Caymanians. And whenever the countries play their traditional music, whatever that might be, they're being applauded by you know the audience that are there. And then when Cayman play their traditional music, you got members of the delegation that is all upset because they had to play that. What kind of music is that? That kind of attitude. But that's our traditional music. What else do you want us to play? Bob Seger? Come on, OC.
So true, yes.
And they're representing us at a national level, and they don't even want us to play our traditional music. No, I don't think that the Minister of Sports should sanction or you know, those groups like that just going to represent without they investigate them properly. We got people up in the North Pole, jumping off mountains and skiing and all that kind of thing represent Cayman. Really?
No, point well taken, Doc.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it seems to me, sir, that there is no sort of cultural policy that defines our nation state, and that has been for years now. And so anybody can come and say that they are Caymanians or they're not Caymanians and can get what they want. And given ordinary Caymanians don't really have any power to do anything, they simply follow what they are told. And if they are told that that these people can represent us abroad and that their music is what is put forward, that's what Caymanians follow. It's very sad to say how backward we have gone after all of the gains we have made in the 30 years before. As you said, I remember those days too. But we don't have that kind of relevance today. Now today, everything is seem to be lawless and unlawful. Even the road system seems to be unlawful. Everybody does what they want to do. There's no policemen, and you can't leave people. You can't leave people to do what they want to do because they'll never follow what traditions and principles are. They will just do whatever they want to do, and this is what Cayman seems to be becoming, an international bastion of similar to what Port Royal was, where everybody is doing their own thing, and that is legitimate and accepted.
And Doc, I don't know if you said that we're going backwards, but I don't think we're going backwards, because if we're
not going forward.
Backwards, if we were to go backwards, I think we would be better off because back then it was better. We could identify with ourselves, and we know who everybody was, and we did the traditional things of Cayman. But now going forward, it looks like it's worse. So it's better if we go backwards.
So the music that you're talking about, this is like the official when the various countries are introduced.
Play there. And
okay.
They play there. They got a chance to play their traditional music or whatever. Yeah, and each country played their music, and then when Cayman now hit up their little folk song now, your delegation. You know what I'm talking about now? your delegation get all upset.
But I'm trying to figure out when I'm still trying to put it in perspective whether or not it is just the song of Cayman or whether or not we're talking about playing the national song at an event.
I think he's talking about commercial music.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
got you.
It wasn't a national song. It was, like how Swanker will play a folk song, original Cayman folk song.
Right,
I think that was the case, and the delegation from the cycling association, I think, was all upset that was the song that was chosen to play.
Okay.
So I don't know if you had catch on, but I had to call you out on that one now.
No, but I'll say this much, and this is my opinion, that no matter how many times you stamp Caymanian status, across a passport or on a paper or give people an identification card saying that they're Caymanian status, unless you really have that in your blood and you hear people talk about, oh, this person is just as Caymanian as I am.
How are they going to be?
Exactly. It has to flow through your veins for you to really experience it.
Or you have policies like other countries. Canada, people come to Canada. They weren't born in Canada. They don't have long generations of Canadians in their blood, and they abide by what the Canadian culture is and what the Canadian government policy is for people to behave.
Yep.
So we haven't gotten any. We haven't got anything. It seems to me that that our culture, so like somebody asked me the other day, what's Cayman culture? Well, it seems to me that Cayman culture is anything and anywhere and anyone who has lots of money. That's Cayman culture. Cayman culture is not based on tradition and values that has been passed down from generation to generation.
Culture is learned behavior.
It's learned behavior. And it moves here or there. Depends on how much money you have in your pocket.
Yep. Folks, we've reached it.
But we also have a ministry of culture too, right?
Yep.
Culture comes on the ministry, ministerial heading. So that can be enforced too, almost.
Okay.
Well, that has to have policy too.
Going past my 8 o'clock news, Lord Graham, gotta go.
Okay.
Take care, folks. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Feast mode activated.
There's always room at the family table, and Foster's is there to keep everyone fed.
With incredible new recipes and familiar classics, we have everything needed to cater any family feast.
Roast turkeys, holiday hams, fall-off-the-bone pork shoulder. Not to mention cheesy mac and cheese, scalloped potatoes, pumpkin or pecan pie. There's a lot to be thankful for this year.
Have a thankfully hassle-free Thanksgiving and order yours online at fosters.ky. Fosters, better because we care.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. OFREG is doing a value of solar study to help determine the rate to be paid for customers' commercial and residential power generation as the country works to be more reliant on renewable energy. Executive Director of Energy, Greg Anderson, tells Radio Cayman OFREG's 2 approved renewable energy programs are designed to provide continuing opportunities for customers to install rooftop solar systems. However, there are a lot of issues at play in terms of essential costs to maintain and protect the local grid's reliability and stability.
These include determining an appropriate cost of service for utilities, the full value of solar, which will potentially determine the rate at which solar customers are credited, amended core and DER agreements, and utility concerns about potentially losing revenue.
He says OFREG acknowledges that rooftop solar electricity generation is an integral part of the National Energy Policy energy transition goals and is taking the necessary steps to support strong solar growth. Caribbean Utilities Company is also doing a study to analyze the impact on fuel efficiency on its existing generating engines. Should additional distributed generation renewable energy be connected to the grid before the 20-megawatt battery energy storage system project is completed next year? Both studies are expected to be wrapped up by the end of November. And the Cayman Islands Fire Service welcomes 12 new Caymanian firefighters to the family. 11 men and 1 woman have completed their training and taken their oaths to save lives and protect property throughout the islands. Chief Fire Officer Randy Rankin says they are the first to be indoctrinated in the new CIFS recruitment process.
We will continue to guide and assess their capabilities throughout their journey to become a Cayman Islands Fire Service firefighter at an international industry fire and rescue standard for any emergency, including building fires, road traffic collisions, search and rescue, water and land, fire prevention, and aviation firefighting.
Mr. Rankin says rigorous professional training and development are at the core of the mission to build Cayman's resilience. Canada has expanded its economic sanctions, freezing the Canadian assets of Haitian political elites to include former President Michel Martelly and former ministers Laurent Lamotte and Jean-Henri Xiant. Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly accused the trio this weekend of helping gangs undermine Haiti's current government and called on international partners to follow Canada's lead. She made the announcement at a 2-day Francophile summit in Tunisia. The Caribbean country is paralyzed by gang warfare. She says, quote, "Our goal is to make sure that these people that are profiting from violence, that are part of a corrupted system, are facing accountability." Haitian's Foreign Affairs Minister said the new sanctions put real consequences on those causing a, quote, "nightmare" in his country. Now with the check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Jerry Smith. A powerful earthquake in the Indonesian province of West Java has killed more than 45 people. Around 700 people were being treated for injuries, the vast majority of them serious. Several European nations have shelved plans to wear armbands in support of LGBTQ+ rights at the World Cup in Qatar because of the threat of their players being sanctioned. Football's governing body FIFA warned it was a breach of its rules. The former South African President Jacob Zuma has been ordered by a court to return to prison after upholding an earlier ruling that his parole had been unlawful. He was given a 15-month sentence last year for refusing to testify in a corruption case. UN inspectors are due to go into the Zaporizhia nuclear plant to assess how serious the damage is from recent shelling. More than a dozen blasts were heard in the last 2 days at the site in southeastern Ukraine. Iran says it will take retaliatory action against the UN's nuclear watchdog over a resolution criticising Tehran's lack of cooperation with its inquiries. The resolution follows Iraq's failure to explain undeclared uranium particles found at 3 sites there. The Wesh Chaman crossing between Afghanistan and Pakistan has been reopened, allowing hundreds of stranded trucks and people to cross the border. It was closed more than a week ago after an attack on Pakistani guards from across the border. The president of Kazakhstan appears to have been re-elected by a wide margin in a contest that was widely criticised. Kasim Tokayev was the only candidate with any public profile. Israel's Prime Minister-designate Benjamin Netanyahu has won a defamation suit against a predecessor who had said he and his wife and son were mentally ill. The comment was made by former Prime Minister Ehud Olmert. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Buttontown, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Buttontown. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman for the latest in news and information.
Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, www.radiocayman.gov.ky.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Water Authority Cayman wishes to advise its valued customers and the motoring public of planned works to upgrade the water supply infrastructure along Marina Drive between Almond Avenue and the Harbour House Marina. Preliminary work began the week of 12th September. Work will take place weekdays between 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. The project will last for approximately 12 weeks. During the course of the works, traffic management measures will be in place with signs directing the traffic flow. Motorists are encouraged to drive with caution when they are in the area to protect their safety and the safety of the Water Authority's staff. Customers in the area may experience service outages throughout the work. The authority will make every effort to give advance notice related to outages. Customers can visit our website www.waterauthority.ky for outage notices. The Water Authority appreciates the patience and understanding of its customers and the public as it undertakes these works and apologizes for any inconvenience this may cause.
Excuse me, I noticed you from afar.
Really? Me?
Well, not you. The KFC sandwich you're eating?
Oh, Zinger.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be funny.
No, it's called the Zinger Sandwich. Crunchy, juicy, 100% chicken breast, crisp lettuce, sweet mayo on a seeded bun with a little zing. KFC's chicken is not factory breaded, frozen and refried like the Burger Boys. Customize your KFC Zinger and dip it in barbecue sauce.
Wow, now I'm starting to notice you too.
KFC, it's finger licking good.
The Department of Agriculture would like to advise the public that appointments for Christmas abattoir services should be scheduled by November 30th. This can be done at the main office reception desk on Lottery Road, Bodden Town. To learn more about the DOA abattoir services, required information, and delivery dates, visit the Department of Agriculture on Facebook and Instagram or call 947-3090.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning, everyone. Hello? Hello? Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Okay, I see we have just about everyone, and of course Tom drops off, as per usual. Let's just wait a minute here. He always comes right back, and we're almost ready, and... oh, whoever's dog that is, please go on mute. Why won't it let me share my screen? Okay, looks like we're ready to start.
We're like a video conference with no technical issues. CG Britcay. Good like that.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Head east on Cove Road. Sharp left on Church Street. Sharper left. No, your other left. Did I say left? Nope, you missed it. Okay, I'm lost.
With money-saving bundling options for home and motor, we're like a GPS that doesn't steer you wrong. CG Britcay. Good like that.
Let's stop and ask for directions.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
When you're craving something big, something tasty that gives you that lip-smacking satisfaction, something that hits the spot, there is nothing better than a footlong from Subway.
It's pretty tasty.
Filling and full of flavor. Try our new sweet onion steak teriyaki with a twist. Or the classic chicken teriyaki. Top it with green pepper, onions, cheese, and that sweet onion teriyaki sauce, all piled on your favorite artisanal bread. Satisfy that craving with a footlong from Subway.
Fresh, delicious, tasty, meaty.
Let's make it a meal with a drink, chips, and cookies. There is nothing better than a footlong from Subway.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Kirk Freeport's Black Friday weekend is back in their 50th year with the biggest Cayman sale of the year. Kirk Freeport Black Weekend deals are available from Thursday 24th to Monday 28th in all stores, with the biggest deals of all at a special reopening of Kirk Freeport on Cardinal Avenue on Friday and Saturday only, with up to 75% off all clearance jewelry and watches. From Thursday to Monday, you will find deals at La Perfumery and Strand locations, and you'll get 50th anniversary sweepstake entries on all purchases over $100. The 50th anniversary Black Friday weekend is our biggest yet. KirkFreeport.com for details.
Health Services Authority is now offering online payment options for patients. Patients of HSA can now pay their bills, including deposits, towards scheduled services online at payments.hsa.ky. The secure, new online payment system accepts debit or credit cards and is in addition to the available payment options of cash, check, and online bank transfer. For quick, easy, and secure payment directly from your phone or computer, visit HSA's new online payment system at payments.hsa.ky.
Attention farmers, in the event of a storm, the DOA reminds you to take precautions with identifying and safeguarding livestock. Cattle and horses should be loose in pastures that are not prone to flooding. Other domestic livestock, such as pigs, goats, and chickens, should be kept safe in their pens and cages above flood level. Livestock aged 2 months or less should be secured with their mother in a pen or kept loose with their mother in a safe and sheltered area. For livestock emergencies, call DOA Veterinary Services on 916-2218 in Grand Cayman or 925-5765 Cayman Brac, or email ci.agriculturevs@gov.ky.
Your Radio Cayman 6 p.m. news, Monday through Friday, is brought to you by Logic. Your life connected.
For the record, with ORETT CONNOR.
Initiating system. For information that matter. For the record, with ORETT CONNOR. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, Dr. Steve Macfield. Doc, we're going to share some more information with our listening audience before we get into the meat of our discussions this morning. I'm sure being on the roads, you've noticed that persons have started to put out their bulk waste on the roads as well.
Yes.
On the roadside for Department of Environmental Health to collect. And I believe based on the schedule that West Bay and Georgetown have been completed. The district of Bordentown begins today as well. And I just want to share this with our listening audience because I'm seeing all sorts of things being placed on the roadside. I've seen car wheels, and things of that nature. So I'm going to share what the release that was put out on the 26th of October in regards to this endeavor, this annual cleanup that and pickup that takes place. So it said that the Department of Environmental Health announced the schedule for this year's bulk waste collection in Grand Cayman. Residents are urged to prepare and separate their items ahead of the week assigned for collection in their respective areas. And they say that the success of the annual bulk waste collection depends on the cooperation of residents to follow the guidelines provided and the dates for collection. They also say that they have worked together before and that they are confident that they will continue joint efforts with members of the community for a smooth cleanup on the island. And they also confirm that any bulk waste that is put out after the announced dates will not be collected. The director, Mr. Sims, pointed out that their environmental health officer will also be out in full force, monitoring the exercise and checking on the routes already finished, ensuring that tipping litter after the fact is dealt with according to the law. So if you put it out there after that, then you're going to be dealt with. So for West Bay, it was from the 7th to the 12th of November. For Georgetown, it was from the 14th to the 19th of November. For Bordentown, it's from the 21st today to the 26th. North Side and East End, November 28th to December 3rd. And they point out that bulk waste refers to large items such as old furniture, mattresses, rugs, household appliances, carpeting, scrap metal, vegetative waste, and other items that are not collected as part of the DEH's weekly residential pickup service. However, construction and demolition debris, hazardous materials, electronics, and tires will not be collected during the bulk waste removal activity. Persons are required to make alternative arrangements to transport these items to the landfill. So I'm seeing lots of car wheels, lots of car tires, rims, and things of that nature. So while the Department of Environmental Health has pointed out that their inspectors will be out there after the dates to ensure that there's no tipping after that, it would appear to me that some advanced reconnaissance needs to take place as well to ensure that what is out there is collectible as well, or otherwise, what do you do? When those car wheels and stuff and tires that are out there, are you going to leave them out there now? Or are you in advance going to say to the residents, I'm sorry, this is going to be left behind. You have to find your way of disposing that. Yesterday, I was on my bicycle in the eastern districts all over the place. I saw so much automobile material, the tires and stuff like that. So either DEH is going to have to pick them up, or they may need to do some advanced reconnaissance as far as getting out there and seeing what is there waiting to be picked up, that's going to be picked up within that time frame. I believe we do have a caller. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, sir? I hope you're doing fine.
I'm fine, and I hope and I trust you're doing the same, ma'am.
Well, I'm giving thanks. Listen, darling, I know you mentioned something a little while ago about Cayman's culture. And, it's a culture and a heritage of which we should be proud. And I thought to myself, even when I'm singing the Cayman national song, there's something about the song that I keep, I've heard many national songs of different countries around the world, and yet I don't know if there's any that sort of, it brings to the fore all of the love and respect and pride that we have for Cayman. The Cayman National Song, as you know, is played every morning around 6 o'clock on Radio Cayman. You open with that song.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you are aware that the version that you've used for probably, what now, 2.5, 3 decades, I don't know, is one sung by my daughter Nina. And it is refreshing. It gives me something within me that, tears come to my eyes every time. It's very patriotic. And so I want to encourage all Caymanians to embrace our culture. We're drifting from what is ours. The other night when there was a concert at the Hartfield Theatre, I appreciated the other 2 bands that played, but when Swanky's Kitchen Band came on, I must tell you that the crowd went wild. It was beautiful. It was lovely. It evoked something that you don't get when you listen to any other kind of music, and certainly traditional. And so I want to encourage us to steer away from all this stuff that we see on the street, the nakedness, the vulgarity, and embrace what we used to do. I'm sure you remember when we had our regattas on 7 Mile Beach, and it was beautiful. And so what happens when people lose what's most meaningful and worthwhile? It doesn't happen suddenly. It is gradual. It happens gradually.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to openly encourage all Caymanians to be proud of who we are, to be proud of our culture and heritage, to embrace that Cayman national song. Every time you hear it, give God thanks about who we are. God bless you. I hope you have a lovely day.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Scholar, and all the best to you as well.
But ma'am, the culture is not embedded into our daily life. The culture is something that is by the way sort of thing. When my son went to school at St. Andrew's College in Toronto, they have a program there. They start after their morning prayer, they start with the Canadian national anthem, the Canadian songs, the Canadian stuff. That's how they start their day. Our schools, the Cayman song should start the day off. I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about the Cayman song should start the day off. And not only the song, but the children should be taught the history of the song, who wrote the song, why it was written, and so forth, so that they can understand and they can pass that on to their children, and they can grow up with some sort of respect for who they are and what they are. As far as I'm concerned, most Cayman youth do not understand who they are. They believe that other people's culture and other people's anthems and other people's way of life is superior to them, and that's the reason why we're losing who we are. And let me tell you, as you said, it's not gradual. It's real fast. And other people that comes from other places, there are other means to take over a country other than war and invasion and things like that. One of the things is destroying your culture, destroying your way of life, and imposing their own. And I am surprised that we've been talking about this now for generations and generations, and yet there's no principle. There's no written. There's nothing written. There's nothing that say that this is who we are, and this is what you have to abide by, or else you can find another place to live.
Quite frankly, Dr. McField, when I think of Cayman, quite unique. Who we are. We've always been a people that welcomed other people to Cayman. You know that.
But you can't continue that for you if other people do not respect you, because they think that kindness is weakness, and that's the problem that we have. We accommodate everybody because we have this thing that we said that I don't know what it is. It's probably come from our religious beliefs. That if you do good to everybody and they'll do good to you, but that's not how it works. It's not reciprocal.
The thing about it is Cayman was always known for its friendliness and honesty. We were known for it here on the island, as well as when we went overseas. You know that, and OC knows that as well. But what I can tell you is that some of what I see taking place on the streets in Cayman, I don't even know that I've seen that take place. Now, it happens. I've seen in these, in Trinidad, Tobago, Brazil, some other places, they'll have these special events, and, the way they dress is not the way that I think a woman should be seen on the street. But even, do you know, they have changed. The change that took place when Pirates Week moved to a date which clashed with our Remembrance Day was something that hit me to the core. I cannot believe that you would change a date and place it on the same time frame that we celebrate our Remembrance Day. The individuals who gave their life for freedom for us, and you are going to celebrate murderers and plunderers, pirates during that time. It is not who we are, and our children are growing up to believe that piracy is something that is synonymous with being a Caymanian.
Well, it reflects that how people can. You can get people to understand the negative rather than the positive. That is a reflection of that. And if they knew what piracy was, they would not ask them about Bloody Bay and Little Cayman, well, about the murder of the people here catching their turtles and stuff. When the Spaniards hoist their British flag to make them believe they were British and came into the Bloody Bay, and they destroyed all of the sloops and stuff. People were catching their turtles to take them back to Jamaica and to Cayman. Ask them about that, but they don't know. I never go to Pirates Week because my ancestors had to hide themselves away from those people, and pirates sold them and stole them and sold them and raped them and plundered them and stuff, and that's the kind of stuff. I don't go there because it seems to me that it's easier to get people to accept the negative rather than a positive. And as one of Hitler's men said, I think it was Goring, was it? Said that if you tell a lie, the bigger lie that you tell is the more that people will believe it.
Mm-hmm. You keep telling it, and they're going to believe it as truth. And I hope and trust. I know we could go on this subject for quite some time, but I will say this. I will leave you all with this. They say if you threw a frog into boiling water or really hot water, he's going to jump out immediately. But if you sit that frog in there and just barely have the heat on, slowly but surely, that water continues to get warmer and warmer and warmer, and that frog sits there, not realizing that gradually he's encased in his own death, because it happens gradually. By the time it reaches boiling point, he's already out of it. And this is what Cayman needs to understand. You cannot depart from what made us who we are. There's some things do not change with modern times, modern times does not mean that everything changes.
Mm-hmm.
And the core of who we are, and I'm telling you, I intend to bring it back to the government again. The date that we celebrate 11 hour, 11 day, 11 months, and the days surrounding, the time surrounding that, children need to know why we wear a poppy, what it is for, how we respected the day, the date, the time. These are things that need to be instilled because those lives were lost because of us. And so I leave you with that, gentlemen. I hope you have a good day.
Thank you very much, caller, for that. Folks, we have to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Pirates Fest. A little bit of old, a little bit of new. The evolution of Cayman's Pirates. A little bit of fun for everyone. Grand Cayman festivities from November 10th through the 20th. 10 days, 33 events. From happy hour parties, cardboard boat races, the Trial of the Pirates, float parade, national song competition, pooch parades, races, fireworks. So many fireworks. Pirates Fest is here. 33 events, 10 days, November 10th through the 20th. Stay in the know. Get the full event lineup at piratesfestcayman.com.
Pirate fire, raging through Church Street, bright and little Cayman, putting on some.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice-cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
As the community continues to take precautions from COVID-19, it is important to stay prepared for other disasters now that we're in the hurricane season. Here are some post-hurricane safety tips from the Department of Environmental Health. Always separate debris from household garbage after a hurricane. Debris includes roofing materials, tree branches, and metals. All items of debris must be placed in separate piles and must not cause obstruction to roadways or come in contact with electrical lines. For full guidance on post-hurricane safety tips, visit www.deh.gov.ky.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with ORETT CONNOR.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Dr. Steve McPhail. Doc, we're going to switch gears and go back to the topic of traffic and the situation, the incident, or I don't know what to call it, the gridlock.
The gridlock, yes.
Because that's exactly what it is, you know, a gridlock where everything basically comes to stand still. That occurred on Friday evening. Now we see Premier, the Honorable Wayne Patton, publicly issued an apology. As a matter of fact, I think he issued that voice note while he was in traffic, and he has taken responsibility, for it. And I want to applaud him for that. But at the same time, I also want to say that while, yes, he is the head of government, he's the premier,
political government.
Right, political government. He is the premier, and all of the ministers they're all appointed by him. I don't believe that in this case that literally he should be taking responsibility for what occurred on Friday.
Literally?
Now, yeah.
Constitutionally, he has no responsibility.
Exactly. Has none whatsoever. And like I said, applaud him, for having the broad shoulders and taking on that responsibility. But there are more persons to answer to what occurred on Friday. I wasn't out there in it. I was at home, but I saw, all of the social media comments and everything else. Now, this not last Friday was not the first time that we ever had Pirates Week, that we ever had a Georgetown District Day out there. It's not the first time.
Exactly.
We didn't have to reinvent the wheel. So the big question is, what happened? Was it a combination of things, more traffic on the roads? Did they close off the wrong roads? Did drivers not heed the warning that certain roads would be closed off? What created the problem? And it is something that we need to continue to have a discussion about, not just what occurred on Friday, but the whole traffic situation in the Cayman Islands.
And they did not think the thing through. They did not realize that if you close off certain roads, you're going to have some traffic jams, hold up, and then that what would that call for? For policemen to be on the roads, on the streets, making sure that the traffic flow as gently and as good as possible. Didn't they know that? And I went to see a client who lives near the water company on the West Bay Road. What's it? The highway? The West Bay Highway. I got to cost you less at 4:00. And I did not get back to my office at Lisbon Square until 6:30. It took me 2.5 hours. Everywhere I went, it was a traffic jam. I tried to cut through here, it was a traffic jam. I tried to cut through there, it was a traffic jam. Not a policeman I saw. It was typical of what happens on the road on a daily basis, unruliness. People trying to make 6 lanes out of 1 lane, 6 lanes out of 1 lane, and it was very frustrating that I never saw a police car, and I never saw a policeman on foot or a policeman on a motorcycle or a policeman on a bicycle helping to alleviate the traffic jam. It was completely a disaster. And it seems to me, Mr. For the record, that if the police can't do their job, they ought to give the government ought to pass laws to give this traffic situation out to a private sector so that they can bring some sort of organization in to do it. Other places, the governments parcel out and give out certain jobs. It seems to me that this whole traffic system, and you remember I was on your radio show months and months ago when they said there was going to be a new traffic department and a new inspector or something, and I said then it's just another face. Nothing is going to happen, and nothing has happened. Why is said that? With all of the thousands of cars on the island, that we cannot have a traffic department to make it run. This morning I was coming down, and it didn't surprise me that there was a accident by the Chris Thompson roundabout. This morning I was coming down. I was coming 6 o'clock in the morning, and the mayhem, the speed on the road, people passing me doing 60 and 70 and 80 miles an hour and overtaking on the yellow line. And I said to myself, oh, I hope I hurry get off this road, because it seems to me that this lawlessness, this lawlessness and this disrespect for other road users and for the laws of the highway has gone out now, and people now really just don't care, because you cannot leave people to police themselves, because people will not obey the law. And you got to have people on the road to say, if you do this, this is the consequences, because that is the only way that people understand that you have to obey the law and that you have to abide by the principles and by the road codes.
Okay, so it would seem to me that if for the police to have been effective, they would have had to been out there early. Because I would imagine that at the end of the day, they were probably, in gridlock themselves if they were trying to get out there after. Because we have to note that on most of our roads there is we don't have. I shouldn't say most. None of our roads really has an emergency lane where traffic and emergency traffic can drive on. So it would seem to me as if they needed to be out there early directing traffic. But I sort of envisage where the festivities were taking place, the roads that were closed off. And if those roads are closed off, the perimeter roads were the ones that people had to travel to avoid going on Seafarers Way. To me, it was simple. I believe there's no doubt that we in the Cayman Islands, we are overwhelmed by the number of vehicles. Now, I saw comments on social media, talking about, we can't do anything about the number of cars in the island. Now, we still can do something, about the number of vehicles on this island. We have to start somewhere, and the longer it takes for us to make a decision in terms of what we do about the importation of vehicles in this island, who can import vehicles? A friend of mine was relating a story to me, and a person who was born here, lived here for basically all of their lives, went to their country where their parents were born, and were try to import a vehicle or bring a vehicle in, and they were told, no, you haven't been residing here for the length of time that you're required to reside to be able to import a vehicle. That's one simple solution. Now the question is, are we so dependent on the fees that the government derives from the importation of vehicles that we cannot give it up at this point in time? We can't surrender those fees. We can't do without them at this point in time. What is it? We hear people talk about public transport. I would like to know out there, how many of you who now currently own cars in this island are prepared to keep that vehicle in your driveway and take public transport, no matter how efficient you believe that it is? We spoke about culture before. Car ownership in the Cayman Islands now is part of our culture. And shedding that is not going to be an easy job. But we need to do it before we destroy ourselves and before we further destroy this country. Folks, time to take a commercial break. When we return, the conversation with Dr. Steve McField will continue. I have a few WhatsApp messages here as well that I will share with you, so please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
So much happening so fast, too much. It is hard for me to follow my health care instructions. The private counseling with West Bay Pharmacy literally saved my life.
At West Bay Pharmacy, we know how complex medications can be. Our pharmacists are delighted to offer you personalized one-on-one healthcare counseling, free medication review, therapeutic callbacks, and we will liaise with your physician to ensure you receive the best in quality medical care.
Quality of life has a whole new meaning with the right pharmacy to support you. Thank you, West Bay Pharmacy.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner. Now you can WhatsApp your West Bay Pharmacy prescriptions to 516-0777.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
JN money touchdown. Send the money now. Reach wow. You say you need some money. JN money, I can send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash, or use your money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN money, we are pick, yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN Money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN Money. Send funds to any bank, yeah. Pay your bills quick, yeah. Low fees, you know what it, yeah. JN Money, we are pick, yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the people's station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
For the record with ORETT CONNOR.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record with ORETT CONNOR. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Dr. Steve McPhee. We do have a caller. We're going to take that caller in a second. But just want to share a few WhatsApp messages. One of our listeners commented on one of our callers before, and she said, Ma'am, this person says, Ma'am, I don't know you, but believe me, you said it all. Mark my words. One of these times, they will all see and experience pirates. God help these blessed Cayman Islands. Well, some may argue and say we're experiencing pirates right here in the Cayman Islands. We have legalized piracy here in the Cayman Islands. Just look at what some of the financial institutions do when the interest rates, are increased as well. Then another of our listeners said citizens should be able to video people who break the road laws and send it to the police department, and police use it to press charges. Well, that's a good point as well. But what about the cameras? We were promised? We do know that some of the cameras that we do have, can be extremely, extremely effective. And I don't know a whole lot about this, but it appears as if, I think last week the news was out there that unfortunately a cyclist who was riding in the bicycle lane was hit on the Kimpton Bridge by a driver who failed to stop after hitting the cyclist. That person has been identified and apprehended as well. I'm not sure whether or not technology was used for that purpose, but we have seen situations where the cameras that we do have work. We need to use those for the clocking persons who exceed the speed limit as well. But we don't hear a whole lot about that. Now, we know that there was some rumblings before in terms of the cameras that we have and what we were promised in terms of what they were able to deliver, that those deliverables had not been forthcoming. And I don't know now whether or not there is some hesitancy on the government's part to continue with that program or to start a new one or whatever. But we know that in all jurisdictions, those that have cameras, that you can enforce the laws, you can fine persons, hit them where it hurts most in their pockets. Then you can take that money and ring fence it for proper either education as far as road usage is concerned, to improve our roads as well. But we have to reuse technology. We cannot continue to rely just on the human capital that we have. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, Dr. Steve.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'll be quick. I listened to you all talk about the traffic and stuff, and I was listening to the premiere a few weeks ago, and LA talking about the amount of accidents that last. I think he had 2,637 accidents last year, and he's talking about, dropping down the alcohol level to 70. It's like that's going to cure the problem. That is not what the problem is. The problem with accidents in Cayman is too much traffic, too much cars, and it's going to only get worse. I drive a taxi from the airport every day. I'm going to Industrial Park most days 8 to 10 times. And just about every day there's an accident by Air Thompson roundabout. And nobody's drunk. You understand? This is an excuse, I guess, for him not to stop the importation of cars. And it's going to be hard to do that because you got a lot of people that are selling second-hand cars to survive. But, it's getting to a point where you have to make a decision or else we go into serious consequences with the traffic situation.
Mm-hmm.
Because I called the Minister J last week about the bypass for us to get out from the airport on the bypass. He said there'll be another 6 months before it finish. So the season will be done by then.
Mm-hmm. Now, caller, you made a comment about that the people who sell cars, there are people who depend on, the money that they make to sell cars for a living. Right. But some persons may question you on that, because when you allow a person who's on or you do anything to prohibit a person who is simply here on a work permit from importing as many vehicles as want to sell and put them on the roadside and put a for sale sign on them, or have a buyer even before the vehicle arrives on the island, then there are many, like I said, who would disagree with you that those are the persons that we should be protecting by limiting and restricting the importation of vehicles.
And they should not be car dealers in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. But what I'm saying to you, a decision has to be made, because the importation of cars has never stopped. The car is still pouring in there.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it's going to just get worse.
Yep.
That's basically it.
Yes. We have to draw the line, and the longer that we dither, the more that we dither, and the longer that we take to make a decision, the worse it gets. We want to give you an example. In 2003, after the cabinet status grants that to a certain extent that some people argue were illegal in the first place because the immigration law at the time did not give cabinet the power, the authority to grant status. Cabinet could grant permanent residence, but not Caymanian status. We are now seeing the effect of those 2,000 and odd, almost 2,500 status grants in 2003. Now we are seeing the effect of that.
And caller, another place where I see that we need to make a decision, as you say, and they have to make the decisions, is the public beach. The Premier said the other day that it's unacceptable what's happening there. Well, caller, just let me say to you, from the very definition of what it is public beach. It's not a commercial market place. Correct. It's not a commercial beach. It's a public beach. Belongs to the people of the Cayman Islands, where they can go to have recreation, to swim, bathe, and to have recreation. It's not a place where you can go to buy stuff and to sell alcohol. That has to stop. And I don't care who's hurt by it, by the decision. the premier should go and clean that place out and say this is going to be what it is, a beach and not a place to sell alcohol and where you can buy this and you can buy that.
That's what you got the police for.
Mm-hmm.
To go deal with it.
Yep.
But anyway, one more thing I want to bring. I mean,
sure.
I saw another thing in the papers in couple days talking about giving harsher penalties to illegal gambling. Well, it's illegal. I know it's illegal. It's not, but it's been going on for donkey years. And another thing about that is some people are trying to survive in these hard times after that. It seems to me like he's digging into revenue and not getting things done the right way, you know? Because right now he has not done anything that he said he was going to do from time he got in that hasn't done. Because the importation of cars is still going on, people are still phoning, development still going crazy, and it's not throwing it down, you know. But my father told me one time, he said, well, don't worry about development, that will stop itself. And I think that'll be here in the near future. Anyway, you guys, you have a great day.
Thank you very much, caller. Folks, we've reached the top of the hour. Headline news at 9 o'clock. We do have a caller on hold. We will take that caller as soon as we return. So please stay tuned.
Satisfaction is guaranteed 24 hours a day, whether it's music or information.
From Grand Cayman to Cayman Brac to Little Cayman, we've got you covered.
You ever hear a thing like that?
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman. Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The power company and its regulator have both launched new studies to determine a fair price for local solar. The value of solar study being carried out by OFREG will help determine the rate to be paid for consumers' commercial and residential power generation. CUC is also doing a study to analyze the impact on fuel efficiency on its existing generating engines if additional distributed generation renewable energy is connected to the grid before the upcoming new storage system project is completed in 2023. People at a gay club in the U.S. state of Colorado have been hailed as heroes for subduing a gunman and preventing a deadly shooting from being even worse. Colorado Springs Mayor John Souther says one patron grabbed the attacker's own gun and hid it with him during the shooting in Club Q on Saturday night. Another club goer reportedly helped to keep the gunman pinned down until police arrived. He killed 5 people and injured 25 others before being arrested. And an earthquake has struck the main Indonesian island of Java, killing at least 46 people and injuring hundreds. Videos on social media showed some buildings reduced almost entirely to rubble and debris strewn on the streets. Officials warn of possible aftershocks and say the death toll could rise. Those are your headlines. I'm Carsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecast, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advance notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM.
For the record, with ORETT CONNOR.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with ORETT CONNOR. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We do have a caller on hold. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, Osing.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Good man. Morning, Dr. Steve.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, I love when the breeze is on the radio. All right, we're talking about the traffic. No, from years ago I said this, but I know whatever Elvis McKeever said, it goes on deaf ears. So I kind of got used to it, but I can say it anyhow. When I had my construction business, one time I had 12 guys working for me on permit. I had like 17 altogether.
Mm-hmm.
And I had 2 vehicles. One of the guys drove one, and I drove one. So all of my guys got to work in 2 vehicles. Sometimes we had to go 2, 3 different jobs, but that's how it worked, okay? And it worked fine. Now, we got a different type of business people in this island that is running construction, gardening, and all this, and they don't care how their workers get to work. They tell them, buy a little car and try to find your way to work. Right? That is one of the problems. Serious problem. Now, then you got Bibles and things that work. Because I hear this from Cayman. You tell me they live in Cayman, because I don't live in Cayman now. That some of them got God knows all kind of people. Some they got illegal rent a car. Something got 8, 10 cars they renting illegally. But nothing is being checked up about that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They don't know what to make and go rent a car business going illegal, you know. Right? We need to stop. If you come in here to work, whoever it is, especially the construction, because that's the construction, the gardening, that's most of the permit holders. Whoever owns the company has to find transportation for their workers. I mean, in the friend, we put it on your license, we put it on the permit. You have to find transportation for your workers.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Look, I see in the papers, I see it on social media. Nah, they wanted, right? Must have own transportation. Eh? How much Nadi didn't came out? And they must have their own transportation. That is what clogging up the road. We not working sensible. Look here. Oh, see, you got somebody that can take 10 men and do a job. And you got some people that can take 3 men and do the same job in less time, you know. Right? It's called organization. It's called foresight. It's called looking ahead. But we don't seem to have that here. Well, one thing is it, we have the laws, but enforcement, that's been out of the window. We didn't listen to the Foreign and Commonwealth Office in 1906 there. That coming back, I don't know what it said, right? 1960, remember what the Foreign and Commonwealth Office told the people of the Cayman Islands. But we did not listen.
Refresh your memory on that, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Refresh your memory on that.
Do not hire police from Jamaica. That's what they told us. Read it. Check it out. And that we done the exact opposite thing. You remember when we brought the police from Barbados, from England, from all over?
Mm-hmm.
Belize.
Belize, that was the reason we done that, you know. That was the reason that we done that. But we made it watered down. And let me tell you something, friend. If you think that we're not in trouble and done up on that side of it, you.
But caller, I'd just like to ask you a question then.
Yes, sir.
I just saw in the newspaper where so many young people graduated from the training from the fire department. Can you tell me then if the fire department is able to invite young men and to get qualified young men to join them, what is wrong with the police department then? Is there something wrong, or is there a policy, or is there a culture to keep out Caymanians? I don't know. Tell me. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is because I knew when I grew up all the policemen were Cayman. I have them in my office. The whole police force and pictures and photographs, and people come there and they amaze the history that I have in my office about things like that. Why is it then that that in this modern day that you can't find young men from the colleges and from the high schools and stuff who could be policemen and send them out to training? Can you answer that for me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Easy. That's very easy. Very easy. Remember this now, sir. The biggest crime that we had in this island that we criminalized people for was a little bit of ganja, you know.
And I spoke to young people over and over, and I asked them. Even my grandson, he said, "Grandfather, we don't want, we would love to join the police force, us not other people. But I know friends of mine that join the police force, and they send the expert with them, say, come, you're going to arrest your little friend that you went to high school for the smoke ganja." Right? And that is one of the reasons, because look at when the young people were trying to talk. You see Miss Margaret Ramsey? When she done the thing for the court for the young people, that was one of the best things that happened to the Cayman people. But up until now, we can't get the ganja off of the playing field. That is out there, the criminal. And those young people that go to school with their friends, some of their friends go astray. Everybody can't be a student. You know. Some of them go astray. They smoke the ganja. They go fishing. They don't get my job. But they do not want to go. How would you like that, Steve? You know you go with your friend to school. And your friend, he never done good in school. But he's a good fisherman. He hasn't got any little boat. But he smokes in little herbs. You know that, right? From school. And sometime you go join the police force. They're going to say, come, let's go lock up your friend, or I'm going to report you to the higher one. And Dr. Steve, that is one of the main things that with the police force, I teach this for years now. You decriminalize ganja. That they can't force the young Caymanian to lock up the young Caymanian for ganja, to give them a record. And you're going to see a difference in the police force. The young Caymanian would join it because they see what's going on in the country. But the first thing, the expert police that in charge, he going to carry him to lock up his only friend. So you know what I'm telling him? You know what your friend them doing. Let's go lock him up. And that is a serious thing, sir. You hear what I said?
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller, for that. Paul, we have another caller on hold. Let's grab the caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Orit.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning, Dr. Steve.
Good morning, sir.
It's a good, fantastic Monday morning. I heard you talking about piracy a while ago. You know, it's amazing how passive we are to just accept things and talk about it. So that's all we do pretty much, because nobody gets up and have a march. A few weeks ago, there was an oil tanker that got blew up in the Gulf of Oman and belonging to an Israeli billionaire. And as soon as that happened, the news on the paper said, you know, that's going to cause the prices to go up. And before that could be published, prices had gone up. I find it very odd that off-reg only job is to put out adverts advising the public who's selling the cheapest gas and who's selling the most expensive. And there's a disparity of about 40 cents sometimes between the one gas station about 2 miles apart.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody wonders, you know, why that can happen. And also you have a place like Refuel that brings it in retail, buys it in small amounts and can sell gas at all different grades 30 cents below the wholesalers.
Mm-hmm.
And we have no regulation here about somebody up to now, as many times as the public has asked for it, the government, if they know, they can't do nothing about it because it's actually proprietary information from the importers. Nobody can reveal the cost of the fuel that we are consuming. And there's a great disparity. It's piracy for real. The prices that we are paying for that commodity is nowhere near what it should be. I maintain there's at least $1 at all times that the price could drop and the gas station could still be making a good markup. But nobody pays any attention to that. The banks is the same thing. Nobody seems to regulate the banks with the interest rates. All of the banks' loans that they make here, a good 85%, if not more, is loan from local funds. And if you go in and you have a deposit of $100,000, a fixed deposit for 1 year, you're getting about probably 1.25% on that, 1.5 maximum. and yet they're loaning up my money out at 9%.
Mm-hmm.
And if you borrow, if you go to get a car, it goes up to 13%. Same funds from same source, and nobody is saying, but that margin is too high. That spread is too high. How can you justify it? And the gas stations is the same thing. How can you justify that price? Show me where you bought it and at what price. But we don't have the power to do such simple things.
Well, it's caller. It seems to me that all the things that you were lamenting about is because there's no consumer protection legislation to protect people. And I mean, I just, for the love of me, cannot understand in this modern world today where you have the most successful economic system, one of the most successful economic systems in the world, and there's no consumer protection. I just don't understand it at all. I have been trying to wrap my head around that for years and years and years. There's no consumer protection for the public. And everybody does what they want to do, just the same as everybody does what they want to do on the roads. Just same as everybody does what they want to do on the beach. It just seems like Cayman is a lawless place. It seems to me that everybody can do what they want to do. And people come and talk about it, but then after they talk about it for 1 or 2 days, it goes right back to where it was.
Right. And I really feel for the people of Cayman Brac, because they have more stuff duty free, which is duty free. And yet their prices are higher than ours.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, somebody has got to pay more attention to the basics of this country and stop talking about good governance and pay attention to what the basic stuff that affects the common man. Whenever elections are around, everybody talk about we're going to protect the little man. But after that vote is cast, and everybody gets their vote count, then the little man just disappears.
Yes, that's the way it seems to be.
It is a sad state of affairs when we have no regulation. We have bodies of regs that are supposed to be doing this kind of stuff, and for the love of me, I don't know what they do. But really, when you have gas stations charging whatever they want, fuel being increased at a whim. Before the fuels even landed here, it's increased because of some newspaper article, and nobody can check that. I think somebody is falling down.
So let me ask you something, caller. Do you have to get a special license to import gasoline, or is it that's a franchise too?
Well, I'm not sure about the people that sell it at a retail. I'm sure they have to have a trade license. And I'm sure they have to have a bill of sale as well. Probably for them, that's why their prices are lower than the others, I'm sure, because they have to disclose what prices they're buying it at as retail. But the wholesalers, they only pay government a per gallon pump for sure, 50 cents or 75 cents or something, and then diesel is a different rate. But that's it. I had a public march a good 4, 5, 6 years ago. And I went as far as appealing it. I could have gone to the Grand Court, but I didn't have the funds. But I went as far as the FOI Appeal Tribunal, and then I went to the Attorney General, and they said that they could not disclose what I was asking for because the government would get sued because they have a contract with these people, and that's proprietary information, and they don't have privy. And even if they had privy to it, they could not disclose it.
Mm-hmm. Caller, I want to thank you. Thank you very much for that. We've gone past our commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. We do have 2 callers on hold, but I also want to share with you a response. A few shows ago, we received a call about a proposed funeral home in Cayman Brac, and I have a response here from a funeral home owner, and he has shared his comments with us, so I want to share those with you as well. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle, and with the Toyota Corolla Cross now Advanced Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
Switch from slow to the fastest, most reliable network to get this exclusive Digicel Christmas offer. It costs $0 to switch. It's free and you keep your number. That's not all. Switch today and enjoy 50% off your bill for the next 3 months. Stay on any Christmas plan to get 10 gigabytes of any use data every month for a year on us. That's 10 gigs for TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and more. Hurry in store and make the switch today with this limited time Christmas offer. It's the Christmas that keeps on giving. Digicel, Merry Christmas! First, there was little. Then there was grand. But just maybe, the best was saved for last. Cayman Brack, the Pirates are coming! Friday, November 25th through the 27th. Friday, Heritage Day and Gimme Story at Spot Bay Community Cove starting at 10 a.m. and kickoff party at 9 p.m. at Coral Isle Club. Saturday continues with a family fun day at Scott's Dock, followed by the boat float parade starting at Buccaneers. Cut to the dock with fireworks show and after party at Tiger Bay Cafe. Sunday finishes with the Pirates farewell lunch at the Alexander Hotel. They came, they partied, they conquered. Pirates Fest Cayman Brack, November 25th through the 27th.
For the record, with ORETT CONNOR.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with ORETT CONNOR. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have 2 callers on hold, but before we go to the callers, on Wednesday of last week, we had person calling about a proposed funeral home in Cayman Brack, and there was, quite a bit of discussion. We had another caller who appeared to be in support of the venture calling as well. So the owner of Churchill's funeral home here in Cayman Islands shared his views with me. I didn't get the opportunity on Wednesday nor on Friday to address it, but he says that he listened with interest about persons who persons who objected and support the funeral home being in the proposed location in Cayman Brack. He says that he too has thought of the sensitivity toward homeowners, and that he previously had property in a similar location in Cayman Brack, and he resold that property. He said that he has recently purchased 1.5 acres next to the Faith Hospital and will like to put it out to the public for their response and hope it's favorable to the public and dialogue and be able to dialogue with them in Cayman Brac. He says he will be doing a state-of-the-art funeral home and crematorium, as well. So here we have a situation where this entrepreneur has considered the sensitivity of persons living in the area, and as a result of that has changed the intended location for his proposed venture, funeral home, and not only that, but is seeking the public's input in relation to that. And we want to commend him, applaud him for that as well, and hope that that the people of the BRAC take up his offer to provide comments as well. Let's grab the callers. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Sir. I'm doing fine. And my good friend, Dr. Steve.
How are you, sir? Mr. Morgan, how are you? Long time no see here.
I know. We can never seem to touch base and get together for a little bit anymore.
In such a small island.
Exactly. We're living in, extraordinary times, my good friends. If you look at the situation, and I listened keenly to most of the callers this morning, it's apparently all of the interest that I took away from that all of the conversations was drifting in the same directions. Now we look at the situation that happened here on Friday night. I don't want to say how long it took me to get from Rubis gas station, driving around South Sound, all the way coming back to West Bay, because it took me less time than going from Eastern Avenue through the outskirts of town, getting out to Walker's Road to the gas station. Okay? Now, while the Premier might want to say that, want to take all the blame, he better realize and think what he has done. The blame cannot rest solely on his shoulders. How many police we got on this island? How many police? Got an idea?
Probably in the 400 range.
400.
And then you got the cadets. How many again?
I don't know how many they are.
So we got probably like maybe 600 or so between cadets and police.
And we have the regiment.
And the regiment.
Yes. Okay. Now you can tell me, people get up and about making a press conference about how the Pirate Week is going to change into months, and you do not have the interest to call in public, not people that is on top of your committee or whatever, to hear the import about a situation like this. Then you can talk now, but you can take the blame. My friend, the pirates that Dr. McField talked about years ago, they are landed here. They are here to stay. They landed on, old boy. We have a situation on top of our hands that is like chaos. Yes, rightly so. They couldn't or don't want to employ most Caymanians about the police force because Caymanians got family and this. Well, look what you got here now. People from other countries that are police in this country, they're not looking at their family or friends that are from their same country, but as a Caymanian, then we are going to be lambasted and everything is so terrible about a Caymanian. Now, what I would like to say this about this whole situation, we are living in extraordinary times. That's what I see here. It's only good to get on the talk show and blow some steam, but it is a serious situation. And, mark my word, we're still November. December has not arrived yet. Unless the authorities get their act together, which some of them should really resign from what I see going on here, get their act together and have a proper plan for December, you're going to have the same thing again. It's going to be the same thing again. Why all of these police you got here cannot be physically in the appropriate places at the appropriate time to direct traffic not about a diversion sign when you're coming from Walker's Road, you want to go through Byler's Road to the waterfront. No diversion. You go there, and then when you get to the waterfront, there's a diversion sign that you got to go through Freeport Place and head back again to Smith Road. All of these kind of things. Where was the police like people are talking about, right? I was coming down there from quickly, all the way from when you got near Cayman Bay after a couple hours from Walker's Road. Then you have these people riding the road, shoulders, going ahead of you. What's wrong with us? Gentlemen, you know what's happening to this country in times like these? We are consuming too much Prosecco's. We don't have time. This is like a big merry-go-round. Everybody's only looking at good time, and those in authority as well. I'm not afraid to say so. Something needs to happen seriously into this island because we are not in a good state. Remember now, you got the tourists coming in here, and when they got to go back and forth from the airport and they got to sit in traffic for a couple of hours, look, that's not a good publicity for us at all. So I think I said enough this morning, gentlemen. But
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you just keep going to what you're doing, and
Thank
God
you,
bless
sir.
you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. We're going to go to the commercial break because we do still have other callers on hold. I just want to read an excerpt from this is from the Cayman News Service. And this paragraph says that Premier Patton said the government had to get on top of the unrestricted importation of hundreds of cars every month. The previous caller spoke about the fact that we are living in extraordinary times. Folks, yes, we are living in extraordinary times. And as a result of that, the times call for extraordinary measures to be taken. We cannot adopt simple solutions to the complex problems that we are facing. Let's take the commercial break, and when we return, we will take the callers. Please stay tuned.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. No, can't stop me when I taste the classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
First, there was little. Then there was grand. But just maybe, the best was saved for last. Cayman Brack, the Pirates are coming! Friday, November 25th through the 27th. Friday, Heritage Day and Gimme Story at Spot Bay Community Cove starting at 10 a.m. and kickoff party at 9 p.m. at Coral Isle Club. Saturday continues with a family fun day at Scott's Dock, followed by the boat float parade starting at Buccaneers. Cut to the dock with fireworks show and after party at Tiger Bay Cafe. Sunday finishes with the Pirates Farewell lunch at the Alexander Hotel. They came, they partied, they conquered. Pirates Fest Cayman Brack, November 25th through the 27th.
West Bay, home to Barkas National Park, the touristy flair, a family community, a political powerhouse. From sports enthusiasts to car aficionados, affection for silver thatch rope. No matter how far you may venture, West Bay will always be where the heart is. Home will always be in West Bay. West Bay Pharmacy, caring for your home and your family. West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient, quality care is just around the corner.
The Department of Environmental Health would like to advise Bontown residents to get their bulk waste ready for collection from November 21st to 26th. Household appliances, furniture, and other items too large to be handled by weekly DEH collective crews should be placed by the roadside where it's easily accessible to DEH collection crews. Metals and vegetations should also be separated from other bulk items. Do not obstruct the roadway or storm drains, or place tires, construction, and demolition waste, hazardous materials, or electronics. For more information on the Bontown year-round bulk waste collection from November 21st to 26th. Please contact DH's Solid Waste Management section at 949-6696.
For the record with ORETT CONNOR.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record with ORETT CONNOR. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We're going to the phone lines as promised. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. How are you?
I am well, except for the 800 number not working, still not working. I wish if Flow Cable and Wireless or whomever is going to take away the privilege on the poor people, they would let the poor people know. Anyhow, talking about the police force and blah, 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 blah. Or we can't get any officers. I don't think it's that we can't get any officers. We have to find a way to get officers. Fast tracking, as I understand the principle, is a wonderful way. And in fast tracking, you're going to prepare, because I hear a lot of it, they blame on academics, not strength, not fitness necessarily, but academics. So how about getting us a police college? One that operates maybe for 3 months, 6 months before a certain date and time of the year where they're going to be accepting applications. That might work. How about we have that kind of not just fast track and little education to the young people coming out of school that might need a certain amount of something different than they got in high school. But how about having some affirmative action mixed in there? And I know everybody's going to jump all out of their shirts and pants this morning to hear the phraseology, affirmative action, but we need some in Cayman. And somebody needs to get up and say that.
Yep.
I don't think that we're going to have affirmative action in Cayman for Caymanians based, as I understand the practice from the United States. It's more race-based than it is. But nationality-based, oh, heck yes.
Agree.
Yes. Was a man to carry that back in the water because you can make miracles happen. But we need affirmative action. We need fast tracking. That means when the young people finish school, they graduate, they do all they could to stay righteous within the law, and then they go and they make application. You hear they can't get in because they didn't dot an I or they didn't cross a T.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard stories of young people back when we had basically hardly an education system going on, but you had men in there in the force who were Caymanians in the senior positions who would say, well, who could look at a person's submissions and know if they had more, they would be able to give more, meaning the capacity. Some people say the potential. I gave up on that word a long time ago, the capacity. They have the capacity to grasp. They know what they're doing if they only had been educated in a certain way. So that's why I cry out for some police college or something to give these young people a leg up where they will not be able to say they don't understand. They will be in line for something and a little affirmative action. Know who your grandmother and grandfather was, and they get the first pick at the apple. Something has to be done better than is being done right now, because you got all, the process of justice and all that being mixed up right now, coming out of, where, the uniformed forces. But I think that could help our police force to become more Caymanized than it is right now. I do believe a college and some little affirmative action. And if people know a time of the year certain when they would be able to make their applications are now open, they would be able to go to the gym and do that little gym work too.
I agree.
Yes, and Caller, they already have a college, a civil service college. So there's
Thank you very much.
So they can expand that to include the police, police force. That's already in place, and I don't see why they can't do that.
And if other uniformed services are able to attract, there's no reason why the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service can't do the same. Now, in being fair to them, they have promoted their recruitment drives and everything, as well, encouraging persons to apply. Now, what you're talking about, caller, is not just applying, but preparing them to be successful in terms of their applications as well.
And you talk about, caller, about using the cadets. When I was chairman of the cadet corps committee, that was one of the things that we were, Corky Nixon and I were adamant about, that they should start from them, from those people who were 16 and 17 years old, and every week we had the plan that every week they would be serving at the different police stations and going out with the policemen in the police cars, especially learning about traffic and learning about how to take evidence in traffic situations, and being at the police desk, learn how to do a diary. For instance, like 10 people a week at the Georgetown Police Station, 7 or 5 were at West Bay Police Station, 2 or 3 at the Bordentown Police Station, so forth. And then by the end of 2 or 3 years, when they were graduating from the cadet service, they would be able to join the police force without any problems. But of course, that concept came from locals, and of course we are dumb. We don't know anything. We didn't come from across the pond, and so we can't think, because we were former slaves, and we the children of former slaves and the grandchildren, great grandchildren. So what do we know about those sort of things?
Caller, I'm going to ask you to leave us there. We're going to try to grab the next caller.
Yes, let me say this.
Sure.
I thank you very much, Dr. McField, for singing on your own choir this morning, because I've been trying to tease that out of you for months and perhaps years. But thank you very much, because it's out there in the public domain. People will know thought had at least been given to the situation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. Let's grab Paul, how many more calls do we have? We're going to make those the last 2 calls, because there's some other things that we want to discuss before we close the show off. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, OC. How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you? Good morning.
I am good here on the Brock. Regarding the funeral home situation there, I didn't want to ponder on that anymore, because I want to leave that. I really not my business. But since I heard the gentleman there last week, remember when he called in and had so much bold-faced things to say regarding it, about it being about 300-400
Yep.
Oh, see, I went there with a 100-foot tape measure the distance between the lady house wall, which is on the east side, and the west side of the joining property there with the home. And from wall to wall, it's exactly 40 feet, 40 feet.
Okay.
From one another, not 400 feet. 400 feet OC is a far distance. That's a far way to even travel. So that's a good exercise. But I just want to call and say that how bold these people, because they believe that they can come and do these things in this country. I don't understand how planning allow these things to happen. And when the people go and sit and argue against these things, they seem to not be for the people, but for the investors that coming into this country. Now, I know some people would probably, like how the other gentleman there for the Brock 2 call in and argue against the same situation, but how would he feel if that was to happen to him? You see, we don't put ourselves in these situations or see when things like this happen. And it's sad to know that this lady is up in age. And for us as Caymanians to fight down against her, at least Cayman Brackers, to fight down against that lady. That lady is sitting there by herself, living with herself at that age. She don't have no one to be there with her in times of being afraid or whatever. It's inconsiderate for our people to how they look at one another in this country. And listening to Dr. David with speaking about Mr. Nixon, I take my hat off time after time, even though I don't go out on one to that man, because that man done me some favors in life while I was in the fire department. That man was like a father to me. That man kept the Cayman Islands Fire Service to a standard of what he saw would in the future, if he didn't do it, would have destroyed it. That service will be destroyed eventually, because when you don't have one unity, when you have people fighting against one another, it will cause a problem for you to put your life on risk to go in a burning building with a person that doesn't like you, and he pull your airline and leave you in there sucking hot air and smoke in. You can't do nothing. I've been through it, and you cannot do nothing. These kind of things will happen. It happening in our neighbors. It happening with our police force, our fire service, in all the government systems. And I do not know who is going to take a handle to what it's going to be till we riding the bicycle without a handle. Mm-hmm. That is what this country is coming to, OC.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that, caller. And you too. And I'm not sure whether or not you heard what I read that from Mr. Churchill Solomon in Churchill's funeral home, and what their plans are, and the public feedback that they're seeking in relation to where they plan on locating their home as well.
That man is very considerate. I mean, he thinks about the people first, and that's a good thing. Why the other ones can't do the same?
Yep. Okay. Thank you very much for that, Paul. Let's take that last caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, Dr.
Good morning, ma'am.
How are you both?
Fine, thanks.
We're great.
Good. Obviously, I must be great with being the fortunate last caller again. Anyway, a few minutes ago, you mentioned about police, the hiring of police locally. That used to happen once upon a time, but obviously it does not happen anymore. And it's not because Caymanians aren't applying. It's that they're not being considered. They don't even get a letter, a response letter, to say you haven't been successful. They just don't get responded to. And then I know youngsters.
Caller, do you have, and I don't want to hold you to this in terms of having evidential proof of it, but I don't believe that in this day and age that the government departments, when you submit an application, they don't at least acknowledge the receipt of it.
Mr. Connor, I would not make such a statement if I was not in possession of proof.
Okay.
Let me remind you and the public, I'm a policeman's daughter, okay? I grew up in a home of law and order, and speaking the truth was of paramount importance. I wouldn't get on the radio this morning to say something like that, and I can go closer than that if it didn't hit home. Me.
Okay.
All right, move it along. And then there are instances where I know young people want to go off to school. Their desire is to do things like forensic, criminology, and so on. And you know what they're told? We can't give you a scholarship for that because we can't place you in a job where you come back. Just like what they tell them about journalism. This whole system is designed, whether Caymanians want to understand this, accept this, or live in denial for the rest of their lives, it is designed to park us in the swamp. That's where we're meant to go. That's where the road is paved for Caymanians. And I say Caymanians as Caymanians who have a Caymanian-issued birth certificate. Because if you have other nationality status, you're much better off here. Forget about the generational Caymanians. The Caymanians need to stop this culture of pee-pee, cluck. Raise their heads, get their ears up at least, so they can hear a little bit, since they all seem to be blinded or want to be blinded by what the reality is here on this island.
Okay.
Dr. Steve, I'm sure, can expand on what I am talking about. When my father was the person in charge of hiring police officers, as far as their academics, he didn't hold that against them. You know what he said? They are Caymanians. We will train them. He didn't think it was fair for other people to come in here and take away the jobs from the Caymanians. And back then we had probably a 95% Caymanian police force with all of the relevant and proper departments that were required to run this country. But those things don't exist anymore, and we know why. So it's not a matter of why. The question is, what are we prepared to do
about it?
To stop it?
Okay, caller, I want to thank you very much for that. Gone way over our last commercial break. When we return, we're going to talk about minimum wage. We here in the Cayman Islands, we seem to be reluctant. We are hesitant about upsetting others. Bermuda now has a minimum wage bill that is being presented to their parliament, and it includes penalties for employers not meeting the legal requirements as well. When we return, I will share that article with you and have Dr. McField make some comments on it as well. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
At Doctor's Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctor's Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
J&M Money touching down again. Now you can send your US dollars at any location on island, including the BRAC. It's easy. Just walk with your US dollars. No need to convert to CI. This is another convenient service available at J&M Money. They always find a way to make it easier and hassle-free. So remember, when you need to send your money and you only have US dollars, don't ever think of what to do. Just head straight to any J&M Money location and send your money the fast, convenient, and affordable J&M Money. J&M Money, touching down again. J&M Money, ranga to la friend.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
For the record, with ORETT CONNOR.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with ORETT CONNOR. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're on the last leg of the show this morning with Dr. Steve McField in the studio. I want to thank all of those persons who called in and made their contributions, as well as those who sent WhatsApp messages as well. So, Doc, we see here in Cayman talk about the housing crisis that we have.
Yes.
We have a situation with the influx of motor vehicles into the island. All and sundry can bring a vehicle into the islands. Literally no restrictions whatsoever if you're a work permit holder. And to take it even farther, I could bring 2, 3, 4 of them in and, put a for sale sign on them or advertise it and place the order, bring them in, and basically deliver them. So it is, unrestricted. Those things are contributing to the challenges that we're facing in the Cayman Islands. Housing, the quality of housing, the fact some people believe that we're importing poverty into the Cayman Islands by bringing work permit holders who are paid minimum wages, and Caymanians, some of them receiving these wages as well that basically cannot sustain them. So Bermuda has taken the bull by the horn, and their Minister for Economy and Labor pointed out that there will be amendments brought to their parliament to lay the groundwork for a and this is in US dollars, $16.40 minimum wage in Bermuda. They're set to be debated in the next sitting of their House of Assembly. So Jason Hayward, the Minister for the Economy and Labor, tabled the Employment Minimum Wage Entitlement Bill 2022 on Friday, which introduces provisions to give employees in Bermuda a right of entitlement to a statutory minimum wage. Mr. Hayward said that once it was introduced in June next year, the island's minimum wage would be one of the highest in the world. The government previously said it intended to introduce a minimum hourly wage of between $16 and $16.40 with hospitality workers whose income is a combination of wages and gratuities, to have their minimum wage set between $12 and $12.30 per hour. Mr. Hayward is quoted as saying, all employees are entitled to be paid for hours worked and should have the confidence in knowing that their employer is complying with its obligations pursuant to the bill in paying them at least the statutory minimum hourly wage rate. He told the House that the bill established a procedure to determine if workers who were entitled to the minimum wage were receiving, and it required employers to retain records to show that they had complied with their obligations. He's quoted as saying, an employee who has reasonable grounds to believe that their employer has paid them at a rate which is less than the minimum hourly wage may make a request to access their records in this regard. He goes on to say that labor inspectors will have the authority to investigate an employee's complaints against his employer pursuant to the bill and issue enforcement notices to employers who have failed to correctly remunerate an employee or employees. Goes on to say that employers who breach the bill will be subject to a civil penalty regime which will entail a faster, less laborious process for handling breaches. This penalty will be calculated at a rate equal to twice the amount of the minimum hourly wage in respect of the worker. So I'm going to stop there just to say that Bermuda has taken the bull by
Good
the
for
horns.
Bermuda. Good for
We here
Bermuda.
in the Cayman Islands, because we basically control by the merchant class, by the employers. They're the ones that have all of the clout, that have all the say. If you try to introduce something like this in the Cayman Islands, you would get all sort of objections against it, and it is likely to just follow and the legislation and not be put in force simply because there's so many actors involved in it.
We have the outlandish and I would say the slavish situation here.
Yes.
Where they are paying $450 an hour to people who work in the hospitality industry. And then $4 an hour. And are telling people, oh, well, that is so because your gratuities that you're getting, the gratuities does not belong to the employer. The gratuities belong to the employees. That is the tips that the people are forced to give to the industry, to give to the employers. Is not should not be part of their salary. And we have allowed this ridiculous, this unlawful, illegal, this savagery to go on with our people for such a long time now that it has become like piracy. No, there's no coincidence then that we celebrate Pirates Week. There's no coincidence we celebrate Pirates Week. We have all of these people here in the nice program that are unemployed and unemployable, people who cannot even provide for their own economic security, and we are paying people $4 an hour, working hard, working on their feet. I see people working on their feet, standing in the restaurants and in the places there, and we allow them to get away with this, and successive administrations that come in have done nothing about it. Oh, they said, oh yeah, we are going to look at it. It's something on our agenda in a country where it takes $7 or $8 to buy a gallon of milk, and people are only paid $4 an hour. How the hell could they expect them to live and expect them not to be robbing and holding up people and so forth? It is an anomaly that is very criminal, and to say the least.
Mm-hmm. One of our listeners has shared with us and said that minimum wage here in the U.S. is $7.25. Nevertheless, the person says that I see signs on establishments, restaurants, etc. We are hiring $20, $23 per hour, and even with those wages, it's difficult, to get workers. Now, there are those who will argue that working in the hospitality industry here in the Cayman Islands, even with the $4 per hour, $4.50 per hour, $4.60, whatever it is per hour, that people do make a good income, from it, but it is not guaranteed. When those gratuities are not coming in, you simply don't get it, and you can't use. And
even if the gratuities come in, it does not belong to the employer. It should not be part of your salary.
Part of your salary, yeah. Good point. As well. Well, we know that the minister, Mr. Chris Saunders, I think they're waiting the report from the minimum wage committee to see what will take place there. But we see from globally that wages are increasing. Here in the Cayman Islands, that has been a struggle, and there's no person who can tell you more authoritatively about this than former Minister Mr. Roy Borden, the difficulties that he had in trying to get this done. We here in the Cayman Islands, we should be ashamed of ourselves, the way that we treat those persons who provide most of the manual, but yet
essential
services here in the Cayman Islands, and not only Caymanians, but the expatriate workforce as well. We should be ashamed. We should be ashamed of ourselves.
They are indentured slaves anyway.
Yes.
That's what I call them.
Yeah.
Because how can they actually pay $1,500 a month rent for an apartment, and high electric bill, high water bill, high rental and for $4 an hour, and then not only that, but when they are here 5 and 8 and 9 years working that sort of money, then they can actually apply for permanent residence too. It's incredible. It's incredible how dunsified we have become in this country.
Okay, Doc, I want to thank you very much for being here. We want to thank our good friend over in the BRAC as well. Someone had to actually, this person says, good morning, Dr. McFeel and Mr. O.C. Please have me excused from school today because I have to do some business in town. And one of his business, that's Mr. Alan Ebanks, real comedian, funny guy, yes. Really funny. Delivered some nices from our good friend over in the BRAC, Mr. Moxham, Mr. Lennox Moxham. I want to thank him.
I wonder if he's send us a signal just to say that this is your Christmas bread already. I hope it's not. I hope that we are going to get more bread during the Christmas time from him. Anyway, I might be going to the BRAC for Christmas. I don't know if everything goes okay, I might be able to go to the bakery myself and choose the things I need. I just wondered if I can buy some Christmas buns from the BRAC. I don't know if he still makes them.
I'm sure that he does. You may want to give him a shout and place an order early so that he can prepare them for you as well. That might be a good idea.
I am. If any of the listeners out there are making fruit cakes, I would like to get a few fruit cakes for my family for Christmas. I didn't have to do this when I was younger because I know my mom and my grandmother made beautiful fruit cakes, and by this time they were already been baked and put on the shelf with wrapped in cloth.
Yes.
And the wine.
Right, to soak
them so that they could be soggy when Christmas morning.
Yep. Okay.
So if anybody out there making Christmas cakes, I want to buy a few. If you're making them, please get in touch with me.
Okay. So one of our listeners said, good morning. Yes, I agree with the lady. We can say the same about our fire department with Mr. Kirkland Nixon, who always said as long as he was chief, the department would only consist of generational Caymanians. And I always admired him for that. We need a lot more like him and Mr. Archer and stop fighting each other down and work together as well. And I just want to clarify something when I question the person, about not receiving a response, because I didn't want a generalization to be made. That caller had anecdotal evidence of the fact that someone had applied and had not received a response, but we can't take that as it being pervasive throughout the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. But yes, the person has anecdotal evidence, of that happening. But we can't assume that is pervasive.
And I would just like to make this last point.
Sure.
This precipitous urbanization that is happening between Georgetown and Cayman Bay something has to be done about it, because either we need to have a new ministry of urban planning with urban planners, stuff to build this new city that is happening, this new urban area that's happening, because it is happening, and something has to be done about it, because it will take the next incident like Pirates Week, the next road closure for something, and God forbid, if something happens where you have a disaster, I was saying on Friday evening, if there's a disaster, thousands of people be killed because people could not move on the roads.
Yep. Okay. Well, I want to thank everyone. We want to say again, big happy birthday shout out to director, our own Miss Norma McField as well. I don't know if she came into work today, but she probably didn't get the memo that the staff had given her the day off. So if she's already in, then it's a little bit too late for that. Just a joke. Folks, I want to thank you. Paul, I'm going to sign off without my monologue simply because we've gone 5 minutes over the time. I don't want to get you into any more trouble. Folks, have a great day. Join Sterling Drainey Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the record, proudly brought to you by Pirates Fest 2022. Stay in the know. Get the full event lineup at piratesfestcayman.com.
Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Coca-Cola, available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery, inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy, taking care of your health. And JN Money. From abroad to yard. Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call